Reverting back. It's crazy. Doing 75 hard right now. Um, it brought me back to the first time that I started doing it, and that was March, like a week after the pandemic kicked in, 2020. And I remember, getting ready to start it and thinking I was excited, but I was also like, man, am I gonna be able to do this? You know what I mean? I had never done anything like it before. And then I realized as I was going, I started to figure some things out. I started figuring out some things that I was struggling with internally. And it started to become easier for me to work through those things because I was getting clarity. I wasn't drinking. I wasn't putting myself in situations that were gonna compromise me completing 75 hard. And when I finished, the night that I finished, I remember I was like, I'm gonna run 7.5 miles. Maybe some of you guys who've been following me for a long time remember that. I had never ran probably more than 5 miles nonstop in my life. So that wasn't going to be very easy for me. But I ended up doing it. Now, granted, those last two and a half miles were, I was really slow, but I never stopped, not once. And I remember finishing and I kind of broke down in tears and I was like, damn, I actually did that. I pulled that off. I actually ran 7.5 miles. And obviously the significance of me running 7.5 miles was finishing 75 hard. But, I am on day, let's say, 5? I think I'm on day 5 or day 6. And I am catching myself reverting back to when I was doing 75 hard the first time. And for me, that's a good thing. And I'll tell you why. There was a lot of bullshit going on during the pandemic, right? All kinds of shit. People arguing with each other, people having their opinions about, all the different things that were popping up. How to get should you get the vaccine, not get the vaccine, wear a mask, don't wear a mask, stay inside, go outside. You know how it is. All the shit. I was part of it. And you guys pretty much know my stance on all that stuff. But one of the things that I took as something good was the fact that we were forced to figure things out, forced to fend for ourselves and to kind of do it on our own. Everybody was social distancing. Nobody was going to people's houses. Everybody was staying away. Businesses were closed, all of that. So if you used your time wisely, you got a lot of clarity. And I am noticing, excuse me, that I am reverting back to that. And I kind of like it, to be honest with you. I like that I'm not really worried if my phone isn't going off with text messages or people calling or texting me. I like the fact that I'm doing something right now that has me isolated, and by the time I'm done, I'll be a much improved man. I like doing that. I like the fact that I am having to discipline myself and show constraint in certain situations. I have just caught myself being okay with not being a part of anything other than what I got going on. And really, The only thing I have going on right now is I coach baseball. Now, granted, that takes up pretty much my whole week. But outside of that, I do my podcast. I do 75 hard. I coach baseball. And I'm a parent. Now, that's a lot. But I don't know, man. I'm just enjoying the fact that I've exited the rat race for the time being. I have had, people reach out to me for whatever reasons to hang out. And, I always tell you guys, I'm not good with flaky people. And, oh, it turns out I can't make it today. Can I come by? Can we hook up tomorrow and go do this? Or I'm good, man. I'm good. It's funny because I have been like that since I first started doing 75 hard. It just taught me I gotta wait for nobody. I got time for that. I'm busy. All right? I'm busy trying to get better. And when you're trying to get better, the craziest thing is that's when your circle shrinks. Now, I've already got a small circle. I told you it's not very big. But for some people who are on this journey now and you're trying to get better and you've just embarked on this journey, it doesn't have to be 75 hard. It has to be anything in life. You're trying to get better, you're going to notice that your circle shrinks. And for me, I'm okay with that because I'm just at a different point. I've been at a different point in my life for a very long time. And as I do these walks, I put this weighted vest on that you see if you're watching on YouTube. Out here, it's like 90 degrees, it's hot as hell. But as I do these walks, I start thinking, and I always end up doing podcast episodes when I'm walking on 75 hard. It's just because I got so much on my mind, and that comes with the clarity. You're starting to clear up some thoughts because you're working hard every day. But I always get these thoughts, and I couldn't help but think, man, I'm reverting back to the old me, and I like it. And people always say, yeah, it's a bad thing. Don't revert back to your old self. Well, that depends. What version of your old self are we talking about? Because I'm not reverting back to my old self when I was, in my 20s or 30s or anything. I'm reverting back to a guy who was 5 years younger. And I kind of like that guy. Or 4 years younger, excuse me. Why do I like him? Because that version of myself taught me you don't need the crowd. You don't need a big old circle. You don't even need a partner. What you need is to work hard and focus on what you're doing and power through the struggles you got going on. Everything else is not in your control. I've mentioned many times, control what you can control. And that never gets more clear than when I'm doing 75 hard. I'm usually like, well, here we are again. And it's happening again. When I tell you about reverting back to the old me, listen, I'm starting to take pride in being by myself again. And that's a very deep thing for me to talk about, because a lot of people say, man, this just happened the other day. Someone said, man, you've legit been single for shit, since 2017. Like, legit. And I go, I've dated. Have not had a woman in my life that I've called my girlfriend. Have not had a woman in my life that I've settled down with. Have not had a woman in my life that I've wanted to meet my kids or even got close to meeting my kids. Not once. And this person was like, man, I don't know if I could do that. And it's weird when I hear that, because I know that I used to be that guy too. Because years ago, prior to 2017, I would have flipped the script, and if someone told me that, I'd have been like, I don't know how you do that, dude. I don't know how you do it. But now I'm at a point, and I've been here for a while, where I'm proud of being by myself. I'm proud of doing everything that I do without a partner. It's not an easy journey. It can be very hard. And the only way I think I'm successful at, the only reason why I'm successful and succeeding at it, is because I continue to push myself every day to be better. I'm always having these little talks with myself. I'm always praying. I'm always in the gym. I'm always doing these walks. I'm always reading. I'm always doing something that is going to try to, make me better. And having that clarity makes that journey of being single for 7 years a lot easier. I don't really need to lean on anybody. And as a man, as anybody, having to lean on somebody, it's never a good thing, because if you ever lose that person, you're in trouble. But as a man, it's even worse, because you get in a situation where, things fall apart, and you have to deal with the aftermath of that. You don't feel like a man no more. You feel weak. You feel like, what have I been doing with my life? And why does this person have so much control over me? Why do I feel like it's the end of the world? Why do I feel like I can't handle myself now? Why do I feel like I just can't get up in the morning and start my day? I don't like those feelings. I don't miss those feelings at all. And so when I tell you that I have been slowly reverting back to the old me, I'm kind of excited about it, to be honest with you. Because there have been moments, glimpses of me going back to, man, I need somebody. Oh, I need a companion. I need this. And then I started realizing, bro, you're doing fine. When that day comes, it'll come, and it'll be amazing, right? But right now, you're doing fine. And I have to continue to tell myself that, and then look at all the stuff I've been accomplishing by myself. I've talked about patting yourself on the back, telling yourself that you're proud. They're proud of you. Talked about that the other day. And I'm there right now. Now listen, I don't want you guys to get anything confused. I don't want you guys to think that my life is in the most amazing spot ever. A lot of the stuff that I talk about is here in my head. It's my mental and my spirit. I'm in a great spot with regards to that. But yeah, with life in general, it's never easy. Yeah, I still got financial issues. I'm like you guys. you know, being honest, man, I still live check to check. It's not easy out here. But I tell you guys why I'm still out here in the Bay Area. My kids are here. You know, and I can't even tell you that once my kids graduate, I'll be leaving, because I have no idea. I don't know what my kids are going to do once they get to college, where they're going to go to college and whatnot. Still got to figure that out. But I'm here, and I'm working through stuff to make sure that I make the best of everything. But I am proud of myself. And I am proud that I've done what I've done by myself without, you know, falling apart and jumping into a relationship because I just need help. That's the worst time to get in a relationship. The absolute worst. You don't want to get in a relationship when you need help or when you feel lonely. It's the worst time to get in a relationship. So for me, I'm good where I'm at. I like that I'm not, you know, the old me, you know, sitting back, you know, contacting people, you know, trying to see what everybody's up to. Hey, you want to hang out this weekend? Hey, what are you guys doing? You guys want to kick it? Like, I don't really do any of that anymore. Because it's not that important to me. What's important is here, right now, what I'm doing. I don't know what everybody else is doing right now, but I know what I'm doing right now. What I'm doing is, I'm doing a ruck. I got a weight to pack on, and I'm walking for 45 minutes, trying to get better. I got a book in my hand. As soon as I finish this podcast, I'm gonna get to reading. I know that's what I'm doing, and it's to make me better. It's to make me stronger and continue on my path. Everything else doesn't matter. It doesn't have to do with my kids. If it doesn't have to do with all the kids that I coach, nothing else matters. So me reverting back to the old me, the version of me that started this thing when the pandemic came, I love it. I love it. I know right now there's somebody listening going, man, this guy's referring to the pandemic, talking about that was the best time for him. You know, people were losing people, family members, people were losing, you know, losing loved ones. Don't get me wrong, man. I know a ton of people that got sick. I know a ton of people that lost some people. I'm not talking about that part of the pandemic. It's all perspective. I'm talking about the part that kept us apart and taught those of us who were willing to accept the challenge how to be strong by ourselves. And that happened at a time that I really needed to do that, because I was really dependent on so many different things until that pandemic hit. And then I spent time doing the work and getting better. And I came out on top. By no means am I perfect, but I am far from as flawed as I used to be. And I like that. You know, I don't know when, you know, my time is going to be when you guys who listen or watch. I don't know when my time is going to be where you guys actually see me with a partner. And her and I are in love and we're growing together and sharing our lives together. I don't know when that's going to be. And I don't spend too much time thinking about it, to be honest. I just know that when that day comes, it'll be for real. Because I don't waste my time on bullshit. Because the minute I see bullshit, or some of you guys call it red flags, I'm out. I don't waste time. You can ask anybody. I mean, somebody might be listening to this and knows me personally and maybe dealt with me personally, and they're probably shaking their head like, yep, he's right. I tell no lies, man, about that shit. I tell no lies about how I feel when I see bullshit and I just shut shit down. I'm like that with pretty much everything. Never really know where you never need to guess where you stand with me, because I'm always going to tell you. I won't hide it. It's part of being honest, man, part of being direct. Regardless of what all this shit means, man, I can tell you this. I am reverting back to the version of me that was 4 years ago, that did 75 hard for the first time. And just eclipsing 50 last week. Couldn't have picked a better time. I still feel young. I still feel healthy. I do need to start getting more sleep. That's a bad habit of mine. But I still feel good. My spirit's good. Still smiling. And I'm in a good place. And I always put God first. I don't preach to you guys too much, but if you don't have God in your life, that might be the missing ingredient. Just putting that out there. I love you guys. I'm gonna get back to this walk, get this reading done, and try to get better. Make sure you're getting better every day, all right? Like I always say, my life isn't perfect. Oftentimes it is a mess, but for me, it is the perfect mess. Peace.